Hello everyone. We'll start with the new topic, forestation. So what is forestation? That means establishment of a forest naturally or artificially on an area which was previously for forest or not, as to cover the area with tree or forest. So forestation means it is the establishment of forest, okay, starting a forest which can be naturally or artificially in an area which was before forest or not, okay. We have to cover the area here with the forest, that is called a forestation. What is forest? A forest is a natural, self-sustaining community. It is characterized by the presence of trees which are large, generally single-stemmed plants. You know what is forest, okay? It is filled with the huge trees or various kinds of trees. So what are the benefits of forest? It is a source of energy, it is a source of food, it provides shelter, provides number of products, it conserves the soil and maintain the climate. And there is negative effect, that is called forestation. So what is deforestation? Okay. Deforestation is defined as the unscrupulous and indiscriminate destruction of indigenous forests and woodlands. Indigenous means it's locally available forest. Okay, locally grown forest is called as indigenous forest. If we are destructing or destroying the forest for any purposes, it is called as deforestation. So what are the causes of deforestation? Overgrazing of livestock, natural calamities, human activities, overpopulation. Overgrazing means we are using the forest items for the daily living. Okay, and because of that, we will cut the tree and we will start grazing this. Okay, and due to natural calamities, there will be destruction of forest and human activities and overpopulation. Overpopulation, so you may need huge areas for building the buildings and the home and other structures, so you will destroy the forest. So what are the effects of deforestation? A deprivation of shelter for birds, insects and food for animals and human beings. There will be decreased shelter and food. Decreased oxygen and increased carbon dioxide in the environment. Scarcity of fuel wood. There will be less fuel wood. Increased drought. Melting of ice caps causing floods. Loss of cultural diversity. Increase the soil erosion and increase pollution. So you will be knowing these words because it is generally used everywhere. Okay? And what are the effects of deforestation here? The mainly there will be decreased availability of food and products, depletion of soil nutrients, global warming, increased aridity, rise in the sea level, global greenhouse effect, and biological diversity. So these are the main effects of deforestation. And how we can prevent the deforestation? By using the recycled products. Whatever product we are using, we should recycle it. When cutting down trees, single out full grown specimens and spare younger varieties. So if we are cutting down the trees, then you can go for a bigger one, and younger one you should leave like that for the future. Use the same portion of land to plant different crops. Use alternate source of energy such as cooking gas instead of wood. So different type of crops you can grow in the same area by various culture methods. There are very famous cultural methods like shifting culture and terrace culture, like that. Okay? There are many types of cultures. Crops culture. So you can use that. Instead of wood, you can use a cooking gas, natural gas. Avoid wastage of forest products, prohibit deforestation, and encourage reforestation. Use of pesticide to reduce damage to forest. Control the forest fire created by human activity due to carelessness. Use of modern technology. Reduce demand though through technological interventions. So you can use the technology instead of the forest, like you can use the notepad or note instead of paper notes. Okay, economical notes you are available, right? That you can use. Okay? Like Kindle, you can call Kindle, Amazon Kindle is there. Like that, you can use. You should more use the technological sources. Strengthening the central and state forestry administration and institution to bring up the new laws and regulations. Expansion of forest area can be achieved by implanting trees in forests with people's participation. So you can expand the forest area by growing the forest. Celebrate Environmental Day to create awareness among people about how forestation can help in improving environment. So you can start celebrating this Environmental Day. So there are certain plan and policies for forestation and prevention of deforestation. Those are Indian Forest Act 1927, Van Mahotsava, National Forest Policy, CITCO Movement, Van Samrakshan Samiti, National Forestry Action Program 1999. First one is about Indian Forest Act 1927, and the objectives are to conserve and protect the forest, to ensure judicious use of forest products. There will be 3 forest officers, and they will be having duties in the prohibition of clearing of land and manage forest and protect officers. Next, moving to the National Forest Policy 1952. It's recommended that 30% of land area of country should be covered with forests. In India, forests form only 23% of total land area. Central and state governments started afforestation programs such as agroforestry, socio-forestry and urban forestry. These are the programs to start growing of trees and plants, so that you can increase the forest ratio to the main land area. Next, moving to the Van Mahotsava. It started in 1950 and celebrated twice a year in the month of February and July. It deals with plantation of trees, and it is started by Union Ministry of Agriculture and Food. That is, his name is K.M. Munshi. Next, National Forest Policy 1988, and its aims are to ensure environmental sustainability and maintenance of ecological balance, including atmospheric stability, which is vital for the sustenance of all forms of plants, animals and human beings. Okay? Here we are maintaining the ecological balance or environmental balance by planting the plants and maintaining their resources and protecting animals and human beings and other forest materials. And National Forest Policy 1988, its objectives are conserving the natural heritage, increasing forest or tree cover sustainability through afforestation and social forestry programs. So here you are conserving the nature and increasing the forest area, and meeting the requirement for fuel wood, fodder and small timber for rural and tribal population. So under this you can use the forest and trees for the fuel wood, fodder and small timber. Okay, not much, but there is control. And increasing productivity of forest, encouraging efficient utilization of forest produce, creating a massive people's movement and maintaining environmental stability. These are the objectives of National Forest Policy 1988. And moving to the National Forest Policy 2011, the aims were to ensure the maintenance of biodiversity, forest management for optimum combination of productive, protective, recreational, aesthetic, scientific and educational benefits, and to contribute to the national economy and livelihood. So here, the biodiversity in the forest and around the forest is to be managed by the government, and it is for the optimum combination of the product available from the forest, and we should protect it and use for recreation and aesthetic purpose and scientific and educational benefits. The strategies were the provision of recreational and educational opportunities in forest areas. In the forest areas, we can start some of the recreational and educational programs. Construct amenity facility to enhance the recreational experience. Enactment of legislation for parks and other protected areas. We can start a new laws and regulations and legislation near the parks and the protected areas. Conservation of unique and representative flora, fauna and geology landscapes, archaeology and other instructive features. So, conservation of the extinction, okay, near extinction animals or flora, and geology, landscape and archaeology. Okay, this should be protected by the government here. Promote participatory management of parks with local communities and interest groups. So you can adopt the forest and animals in the zoo also. You can see the people will adopt the animals. So like that you can adopt and you can protect them. You haven't heard about Chipko movement, I guess. It was started in 1973 in hilly areas of Uttar Pradesh, and it is for prevention of deforestation against the relentless process of forest destruction. Yet the movement got victory in 1982 when Mrs. Indira Gandhi banned the falling of trees for 15 years. So, Indira Gandhi, the former Prime Minister, she banned this. Okay? She banned the movement, falling of trees for 15 years. Next, Vana Samrakshan Samiti. It is a local and indigenous people were involved who were residing at the periphery of forest. So, Vana Samrakshan Samiti is a people who are residing near the forest and they will protect it. Next, National Forestry Action Program 1999. Its plan of next 20 years. It is about future planning of forest. And the purposes were to find out the issues and programs to achieve sustainable forestry development by coordinated efforts. So by coordination with the governments, there should be a protection of the environment and the forest development. It included 5 factors. Those are protect existing forest resources. So whatever existing, we should protect it. Improve forest productivity, reduce total demand, strengthen the policy and institutional network, and expand the forest area. So these were the 5 major factors or components of National Forestry Action Program 1999. And moving to the Pollution Control Board, that is mainly CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board or National Pollution Control Board. So what are its functions and powers? The function and powers are to promote cleanliness of water resources, streams and wells in different areas of the states through prevention, control and abate. So we are protecting and maintaining the cleanliness of water resources here. And it is to improve the quality of air and to prevent, control or abate air pollution in the country. So here we are controlling the air quality also and improving it, okay, and controlling the pollution. Next, advise the central government on any matter concerning prevention and control of water and air pollution and improvement of the quality of air. So this will guide the central government in control of water and air pollution. Next, plan and cause to be execute a nationwide program for the prevention, control or abatement of water and air pollution. So this board will start the nationwide program about the control of water and air pollution. Provide technical assistance and guidance to the state boards. So this CPCB will guide the state boards in control of or to prevent the pollutions. Plan and organize training of person engaged in programs for prevention, control or abatement of water and air pollution. This will train the person and it will start the mass awareness program, and it will collect and compile and publish technical and statistical data relating to water and air pollution. So this will start the technical and statistical data, it will collect, then it will publish to the people and the government. prepare manuals, codes, and guidelines relating to treatment and disposal of sewage. So, how the sewage to be treated, how it is to be disposed, everything will be prepared, and guidelines will be formed by this board. And lays down and modify the standards of stream or well, and lay down standards for quality of air. Okay, this will start the, or it will modify the standards and put up the legal advices for the standards of quality of air. It established or recognized laboratories to enable the board to perform such other functions as and when prescribed by the government of India. So this will start, or this will have a recognized laboratories to conduct some of the experiments. To issue direction to any industry, local body, or other authority for violation of the notified general emission effluent standards and rules relating to hazardous waste, biomedical waste, hazardous chemical, industrial solid waste, municipal solid waste, including plastic waste under the Environment Protection Rules 1986. So, this board has the authority, and this will form the laws and regulation relating to the direction to any industry in the control of emission and effluent standard. Okay? So these were the powers and functions of Central Pollution Control Board. So that's all about the today's topic. Thank you.